Due to the efforts of Australian conservationists, what marsupial returned to the mainland of Australia for the first time in 3,000 years? Was it A, the wallaby? Was it B, the Tasmanian devil? Was it C, the quokka? Or D, the wombat? The answer to our multiple choice question is B, the Tasmanian devil. 24 of these ornery creatures were reintroduced to continental Australia from the island of Tasmania. Conservationists are trying to repopulate these helpful scavengers to combat the ingress of invasive species. If you had the right answer, give yourself a fake internet point. I'm Lauren, and welcome to That Quiz Show's 2020 Year in Review. 20 questions about 2020. This is the second episode in the mini-series where we will be celebrating the best animal news stories of the year. In a year where human news was short on positive headlines, these animal stories helped keep us smiling. From hungry monkeys storming towns in Thailand to parrots moving into San Francisco's financial district and pandas finally mating in the zoo in Washington, D.C., we had a lot to choose from. These questions are some of my favorite animal stories from the past year. We've got 5 questions lined up for you, so let's dive in. Question 1. Our first question is about this owl. How did this owl make news headlines in November of this year? How did this owl make the news in November of this year? Question 2. Vespa Mandarinia turned up in parts of the US and Canada this year. What is the common name for this ferocious insect species from Asia? What is the common name for Vespa Mandarinia? Question 3. This year we discovered that one of nature's strangest creatures was even weirder than we thought. Which mammal's fur glows with a blue-green tint under UV light? Which mammal's fur glows with a greenish-blue tint under UV light? Question 4. Why were the big cats in the Bronx Zoo in New York making headlines back in April of 2020? Why did the tigers and lions at the Bronx Zoo make headlines in April of 2020? And our last question, we can't have an animal quiz without mentioning Florida. Question 5. In November, Richard Wilbanks and his puppy Gunner made the news. What was the incident captured on video that made headlines? How did Richard Wilbanks and his puppy Gunner make headlines in a viral video? This year sure was wild. If 2020 had a spirit animal, what do you think it would be? Let me know in the comments. Let's check our answers and see how many of these animal stories you were able to identify. Our first question was about this owl. How did he make headlines in November of 2020? This owl is named Rocky, and he's a northern saw-whet owl, one of the smallest in the US. He was rescued from the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in New York City. He's been rehabilitated and released back to his home in upstate New York. Our second question was about Vespa Mandarinia. Did you identify the common name for this invasive species? The Vespa Mandarinia, also known as the Asian giant hornet, made headlines this year when they first showed up in the Pacific Northwest. The colorful colloquial name for this insect is the murder hornet. Murder hornets, very on brand for 2020. Question 3. What unusual mammal's fur glows with a greenish-blue tint under UV light? Biofluorescence is a newly discovered trait of the platypus, the egg-laying venomous duck-billed mammal. Apparently that wasn't weird enough, they also glow under UV light. The only other mammals known to have biofluorescence are the opossum and the flying squirrel, all of which are nocturnal hunters. Question 4. Why did the big cats in the Bronx Zoo make headlines back in April? The lions and tigers at the Bronx Zoo all tested positive for COVID-19. Somehow, when there weren't enough tests for all the humans of New York City, these tigers were able to get priority testing. And our final question of the episode, number 5. How did Richard Wilbanks and his puppy Gunner make headlines with a viral video? Richard was the star of a viral internet video as he pried open the jaws of a 4-foot alligator to save his puppy Gunner. This brings us to the end of part 2 of our Year in Review quiz. Tune in tomorrow for our next 5 questions all about the trends of 2020. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to help out the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let me know your score in the comments. How many fake internet points did you earn? We'll see you again tomorrow with a fresh set of questions on That Quiz Show. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for more trivia content, then here's some more episodes from That Quiz Show.